So we have just received a statement which Buckingham Palace say is issued on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen. The statement says, the whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging...
Right, so a statement has just been released from Buckingham Palace. A quiet, almost sterile announcement dropped on a grey Tuesday afternoon, designed to slip under the radar. But it hasn't. The statement speaks of a comprehensive review of royal patronages and public duties, with the goal of streamlining for a modern monarchy, a phrase so corporate it could have been written by a management consultant on a very, very good day rate. But let's be clear, in a perfectly timed, chillingly quiet maneuver, the palace has just announced what many inside are calling the Great Culling. This isn't about paperwork. This isn't about efficiency. This is a declaration.
Are concerning. While some recollections may vary, they are taken very seriously and will be addressed by the family privately. It goes on to say that Harry, Meghan and I...
A quiet war for the soul and the future of the British crown, and it has sent a tremor of absolute dread through the extended royal family. Speculation is already boiling over. Is this a simple administrative review, or is it a cold, calculated move by King Charles to finally draw his line in the sand? One thing is certain. The smiles you see in public are hiding a reality of full-blown panic behind closed doors. The phrase streamlining for a modern monarchy is ringing like a death knell. The official line, of course, is that this is necessary, that in a cost of living crisis, the monarchy must appear lean, focused, and value for money.
So being told, as some background to all of this, that at the heart of this actually is a family, and I think as the media, we're being asked to...
But sources behind palace walls paint a very different picture. A picture of a king who has grown tired of the loose threads, the rogue elements, the potential for another transatlantic media circus. This review is a purge. It's a way to centralize power, to shrink the circle of trust to an impenetrable core, and to ensure that the only narrative being sold is the one written from inside the fortress. We're being told by royal historians that this is the most significant restructuring of royal duties in a century. But let's call it what it is.
Consider any response very carefully, and I think the sense that I'm getting is that releasing something today has meant that...
It's an institutional clampdown. At the heart of this new, streamlined vision are the Prince and Princess of Wales. William and Kate are being presented as the future, the bright, shining faces of this new, leaner, firm, and they are, but they are also the willing architects of this culling. This move solidifies their power, elevates their status, and positions them as the undeniable center of gravity, but it comes at a cost. They are now tasked with upholding a colder, more ruthless version of the monarchy, one that has no room for sentiment. A senior courtier was overheard saying, "This is not about family anymore. This is about survival, and that survival requires sacrifice."
Was thick-skinned. Again, I did kind of raise my eyebrows a little bit about that. But
apparently a failure is a win for her. She also said that, and she ought to know because there've been plenty of them. And then also she said at the very end, if you persevered, which was I mean, thank you very much for making me watch an hour and a half of this stuff, by the way. I really needed that. At the very end, she said that her 15-year-old self would be very proud of her present-day self and how she's doing. So I wonder what her 15-year-old self was like. I mean, God.
I don't think anyone's proud of their 15-year-old self. I mean,
the collateral damage in this quiet war is the so-called minor royals, the loyal, hardworking members of the family who have dedicated their lives to public service. Think of Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, the woman who consistently tops the charts for the most royal engagements year after year, or Prince Edward, and his wife Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, who were once seen as the Queen's secret weapon. They are now facing a reality where their decades of service are being reevaluated, their patronages are under review. Their public life, as they know it, is on the chopping block. Apparently, streamlining is the new royal word for you're fired. It's a cold but calculated message. Your loyalty is appreciated, but your services are no longer required. Thank you for your service. Here's your gold watch. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. And why? Why this sudden ruthless efficiency? You don't have to look very far.
Another aspect that I remember was that she said that having her social media, having her Instagram, really gives her ability to share her voice. I'm just going to pick up on that because we've heard a lot from her this year. I started writing down, we had a People interview way back in January. We had the interview with Jamie Kern-Lima. We had this one. We've had the podcast. We've had the With Love Meghan show. I mean, she has a loud voice, doesn't she?
I mean, I've got massive fatigue from the amount of stuff that she's foisting on us. It feels like every other week she's on this sort of...
The ghost of Montecito haunt every line of this new announcement. This entire restructuring is a direct, albeit delayed, response to the Harry and Meghan saga. The palace has learned a bitter lesson. A peripheral royal with a title and a grievance is a reputational bomb waiting to explode. By cutting the number of working royals, by tightening the circle, they are closing the loopholes. They are ensuring that there will never be another half-in, half-out situation. There will be no more dukedoms handed out to those who may one day use them to secure a Netflix deal. The message is clear. You are either in the service of the crown under our rules, or you are out. Completely, there is no middle ground left to exploit. This move also reveals a side of King Charles many have underestimated. For years, he was painted as a dithering, slightly eccentric heir. But this action shows a man who is a quiet, determined strategist.
Legal writ had been made against Prince George's godfather or Prince William's godfather.
Can you imagine?
It would be a huge story. I think. Do you know what I mean? It would bring a lot of attention.
Well, I do, but I mean, in the days when the Evening Standard used to have a placard outside, it would always say something like Queen's cousin in grave trouble. I mean, you bought it and then you never heard of the cousin, had you? They like to make an association with the person. You know, that's how they do the link, isn't it?
Well, that's totally right. I mean, I'm not specifically associating all the, the lawsuits and the accusations, anything disparaging.
Insiders say he has been planning this since the day he took the throne. He watched the fallout from the Sussex's departure. He read the headlines. He saw the damage to the institution. And he decided it would never happen again on his watch. During a confidential meeting with his most senior advisors, Charles reportedly said, "This must be preservation, not sentiment." He is pulling the levers, not as a father or a brother, but as a CEO protecting his brand. What seems like a calm, modernizing monarch is, in fact, a leader who understands that to save the institution, he may have to sacrifice some of its members. The velvet glove has been pulled back, and what we're seeing is an iron fist. And what about the public? For years, a certain section of the media and the public has been crying out for a smaller, cheaper monarchy. Now they have it. But is this what they truly wanted? A monarchy stripped of its wider family connections, reduced to a core group of overexposed individuals? This isn't just about saving money, it's about control. It's about ensuring that every royal in the public eye is singing from the exact same hymn sheet. There will be no more personal truths shared on podcasts, no more freelancing. The age of the individual royal is over. The age of the collective institution, under the king's absolute authority, has begun. Even now, legal teams are quietly reviewing the use of titles for non-working royals. The Whisper Network in Westminster is buzzing with talk of new protocols that could limit what distant relatives can and cannot do commercially. It is a total, systemic overhaul designed to insulate the crown from scandal. It's thick-skinned, it's brutal. But from the palace's point of view, it is utterly necessary. So now, the world watches. Buckingham Palace has spoken, not in a roar, but in a chillingly bureaucratic whisper that is louder than any tantrum. This wasn't just an update, this was a warning. A warning to everyone, both inside and outside the palace walls. The game has changed. Let's not kid ourselves. This wasn't a coincidence. This wasn't just good housekeeping. This was the opening move in a new era, an era of royal realpolitik, where family ties come second to institutional stability. And as the dust settles, the silence from the now sidelined royals is deafening. Behind the polite smiles and continued duties, a deep sense of betrayal is festering. They played by the rules, they did their duty, and their reward is to be deemed surplus to requirements. What happens next? That is the question echoing through the halls of power. Will the public embrace this new, leaner, more controlled monarchy? Or will they see it for what it is, a family turning in on itself, building walls to keep the world out, and in the process, perhaps losing the very connection that gave it meaning? This announcement isn't the end of the story. It is the first domino in a total unraveling of the monarchy as we knew it. King Charles has made his gamble. He has bet that a smaller, more disciplined crown is a stronger one, but in this ruthless pursuit of preservation, he may have just stripped away its heart. The royal gloves are off, and for the first time in a long time, the future of the crown feels genuinely, terrifyingly uncertain. Keep your eyes on the headlines. The quiet pain of today could become the deafening crisis of tomorrow.